Hello queens, I'm back at y'all with another client tutorial, and today I'm going to show y'all how I did this halo style cut crease, and we're jumping straight into the video. I'm starting it off by cleaning my client's face using some witch hazel on a cotton pad. Once her face is all clean, we're just going to proceed to doing her eyebrows. So I'm taking my Nicka K brow pencil. This one is in the shade black, and I'm using this to sketch out her shape. To sketch in the front of her eyebrows, I'm going in with my brown Wet n Wild pencil liner. When sketching out the shape of my client's brows, I love to extend the front of them to reach the bridge of the nose on both sides. This will help when it comes to blending and ombraying if you struggle with that. This would be a perfect technique for you to use. I never like to bring them too close together, which is why I always stop at the edge of their nose. Now that both of the brows have been drawn on, I'm going to start filling them in, and I like to start from the tail end and just work my way to the front. I also like to brush through the brows as I go, just to make sure that everything is nice and blended and to prevent it from looking too dark. To fill in the front of her eyebrows, I'm going to be going in with another Nicka K eyebrow pencil, and this one is in the shade light brown. I love to use a lighter shade at the front because it'll just make it more easier to blend into the back, and then I brush it all through. And as y'all can see, that brow is nice and blended. Now we're going to go ahead and fix up this other side. To clean up her eyebrows, I'm going to be going in with these two concealers. One is from RK by Kiss and the other one is from Nicka K. You can find them both at your local beauty supply store. First, I'm going in with the Nicka K one, which was in the shade 07, and I'm using this to clean up underneath her arch. And I'm going to be taking it about halfway underneath her eyebrow. Once I'm finished cleaning up underneath her arch, I'm going to go ahead and buff that concealer out. And when it's all blended, I'm just going to carry on with cleaning up the rest of her eyebrows using that RK by Kiss concealer, and it was in the shade Toast. Now that both of the brows have been cleaned, I'm going to go in with my Dermablend translucent powder, and I'm just going to press this throughout her brows to lighten them up. I mainly like to focus it at the front, and I also like to place a little bit on top of some of the concealer that we use just to set it all in place. For an eyeshadow base, I'm going in with my e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and it's in the shade White. I went ahead and applied some to her eyelids. Now I'm just going in and blending it out. I like to do one eye at a time just because this product dries very fast. So if you're not used to using it, I recommend that you do one eye at a time as well. To start this eyeshadow look off, I'm going in with my Juvia's Place Saharan palette, and I'm taking the burgundy shade from the palette, and I'm just going to be applying this eyeshadow to her eyes in the shape of the halo that we will be doing. So I'm going to take it all the way around, kind of like a rainbow. Now that I have this color packed on, I'm going in with my Lick and Lash Spice palette, and I'm taking the shade Bubblegum, which is the pink color on the top left, and I'm using it as a transition. So I'm just blending it on top of the first color that we used. As you can see, these eyeshadows are very similar. I believe this one is only one shade lighter than the first one that we used, but as you can see, it did the trick. Okay, we're just using this to blend out the edges. That's it. That's all. Before I cut the halo in her eyes, I decided to deepen up these shades a little more. So I'm going in with the color Rocky from my Lick and Lash Spice palette. It's like a plum shade, and I'm applying it directly on top of the first color that we use. For anybody that's interested in the Lick and Lash Spice palette, I will have their website in the description box down below. To open up the halo, I'm going in with my e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade White, and I'm just tapping out my shape first. And I started kind of low because we are going to be taking this up higher. Whenever you're doing a cut crease or anything that involves precision, you may want to start low and work your way up, because if you start high and you mess up, there's no way of fixing that. So as you can see, I'm just tapping on my shape and just trying to get it as precise as possible. I normally struggle with these, but they have gotten surprisingly easier for me, and I hope this tutorial makes it a little easier for y'all. I decided to use white concealer to cut out the halo because I knew if I used it on top of these eyeshadows, it would turn pink. So that's what I was really going for. This was supposed to be another Valentine's Day look, but I'm probably going to end up posting it after Valentine's Day. Y'all, I love Valentine's Day so much. Like, it's your girl holiday. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm just let y'all watch how I cut out this halo. And yeah. As I told y'all earlier, I decided to use white concealer because I knew it would turn pink on top of these eyeshadows. If you would like to keep it white, I recommend that you go in prior with some Vaseline or some makeup remover and just clean off that space first and then go on top of it with the concealer and you should be fine. But for me, I wanted it to be pink. Once both the shapes have been blended out, I'm going back in with that Juvia's Place eyeshadow and I'm just pressing it on the edge of the halo just to blend it all together. I'm going to be going in and setting the center of her halo in place using this pale pink eyeshadow from my Morphe 35B palette. It's like the lightest pink from the palette, and I also mixed it with a little bit of the beige eyeshadow that's in the palette just to make it even more lighter. Now I'm just going in with this pigment from AshleyLeeCosmetics and it's in the shade Silver Milky Way, and I'm just pressing this on top of the pale pink. You do not need an adhesive to apply a pigment. However, after I went in with the pigment, I went in with this glitter from ME NewYork and it's in the shade Diamond, and I applied this on top of the pigment. I did go in with an adhesive for this. Once you're finished applying the glitter, her eyes should look something like this, and if you would like to leave it like this, you can. I decided to go in with this Milani liquid lipstick. I believe the shade name is Devotion. If not, I'll have it in the description box down below, but I'm applying this to her eyes as a liner. Since I'm using a liquid lipstick to line her eyes, it will dry matte on its own, so you won't have to set it in place with any type of eyeshadows or anything like that. With that being said, I went ahead and cleaned and moisturized her face off camera. Now I'm going in with my e.l.f. matte putty primer and I'm just priming her skin. I like to apply it to the face using a damp Real Technique sponge. For her foundation, I'm going in with my Fit Me foundation and it's in the shade Nutmeg, and I'm just applying this to her face using this flat synthetic brush. I don't know why it looks like it's two different shades, but I promise y'all I only used one, and that was Nutmeg. To blend out this product, I'm going in with this dense foundation brush and I'm just pressing it all out into her skin. To highlight her face, I'm going to be going back in with my Nicka K concealer, and it's in the shade 07. To blend out her concealer, I'm going in with the same brush that I used to blend out her foundation, and I'm just pressing it all in place. To blend out the concealer under her eyes, I'm just going in with my damp Real Technique sponge. To set the concealer in place, I'm going in with my Fit Me pressed powder, and it's in the shade Golden Dore. A lot of y'all keep telling me that y'all cannot find this shade. I don't know if they discontinued it or what. I usually order mine off Amazon, but if you can't find this shade, you can use the shade Golden Caramel. They're very similar to each other. I'm going on top of that Fit Me powder with my Morphe loose powder, and it's in the shade Banana. To bronze up her face, I'm going in with my Black Radiance pressed powder, and it's in the shade Black Coffee. To set the remaining areas of her face, I'm going in with another Black Radiance pressed powder, and this one is in the shade Rich Mahogany. I'm going in with my Wet n Wild black pencil liner, and I'm using this to line her waterline. I only took it about halfway through. Now I'm going back in with that burgundy eyeshadow from my Juvia's Place palette, and I applied it to her lower lash line. I also only ran it halfway through. I went ahead and pressed in all the powder off camera. Now I'm just going in with my setting spray, and I'm setting her face in place. Once her face is dry, I'm going to go in with lashes. This is just a random medium pair of lashes that I probably got from Amazon. That's where I get majority of my lashes from. I went ahead and cut them to fit her eyes off camera. Now I'm just gluing them onto her lash line. While her lashes are drying, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight her face. I'm using one of the highlighters from my Bperfect Carnival XL palette. It's like the one that's in the middle. Once I'm finished highlighting her face, I'm just going to start on her lips. I went ahead and cleaned them using my Pond's moisturizer. Now I'm just lining them using my Wet n Wild brown pencil liner. I'm going in the center of her lips using my Zerura liquid lipstick, and it's in the shade number 39. And I'm going to be going on top of that with this lip gloss from OZ Lab, and I believe it's in the shade number 1. Once I have it all applied, I'm going to have her pat her lips together to help me blend this combination into the liner. Now I'm going to take whatever excess lip gloss is left on the applicator, and I'm just going to use it to blend the liner. As y'all can see, everything is coming together nicely and she's looking real cute, if I do say so myself. Once I'm finished blending out her lips, we'll be getting into the grand reveal, so I'm just gonna let y'all watch. Ready to see?
Oh! But I'm gonna cry because I don't never do makeup. It's everything.
Girl, you cute.
I love you. Oh my god. Lips and the eyes, everything. I love you. Oh my god.
What you think everybody gonna say?
I'm there.
Okay, queens, this is the end of the video. As y'all can see by her reaction, this tutorial was another success. She loved this look so much, as did I. I think it came out so bomb, and y'all already know, if you made it this far, this is your daily reminder to go follow me on Instagram, because Instagram is always in the know. I drop hints after hints about the looks that I'm about to drop, so make sure you click the link in the description box and go ahead and follow me. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next one. Bye bye, queens.